Once you grasp this truth that I'm about to tell you, it'll set you free from religion. It'll set you free from parents and moms and family and governments and police, everybody. It'll set you free. And it's simply this. You are divine. God has exploded in a Crab Nebulae explosion, and he has come and manifested himself as billions of people. And you're one of you, and so am I. When I look at you, I see God. When you look at me, you see God. That's why God's name is I am. I am God. It doesn't mean that me, God. It means I am. When you say I am God, you have to say, what is God's name? I am. What? I am God. Oh my God, then all the people, Christians run around, oh, I told you they think they're God. I don't think anything on the side. No, Jesus Christ said, the scripture says you are God, and the scripture cannot be broken. So he said it.
Yeah, like I'm not third album.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'll be doing the weekly astrology for the 22nd to the 27th. If you want your personal weekly astrology sent to you every week, a week in advance, you can become a Patreon member. All my information is in the link below, in the links above, or in the description box below. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you resonate with this message, share the video if you feel like it'll help someone else. And yeah, welcome. Happy Sunday. How y'all doing? We just had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and we're getting ready to walk right into the Scorpio full moon. So it's pretty intense, and it's big. It feels big anyways. We might not really be seeing much of it just quite yet. And it is a yearly transit, so it's actually a 14-year cycle, but again, I do think we'll start to see more stuff unfolds every time it hits the degree, every time it goes into Taurus moon. And it's gonna, unravel over time. We might not see much just quite yet, but don't you worry. It's a coming. Anyway, let's start with Monday. Mercury will opposite the moon, and the moon will conjunct the south node. And so this could be a little difficult to communicate and relate to others. But essentially, it's teaching us how to communicate and express how we feel. Again, it might not happen right away, but essentially, whatever is boiling up right now and coming out, however it comes out, may not be too fun. But essentially, it's trying to help us change something about ourselves. Or again, to shift some things around the way we do things. Something's not working anymore. And we might be a little hesitant to change, and whether because we're unconscious or we're just stubborn or, stuck in our ways. These things just kind of happen. I mean, it's a 14-year cycle. That's like telling somebody to change the way they've been doing something for 14 years, and then tomorrow you got to change and be different. It's not going to happen, right? And so these things might kind of shake us up out of our stuckness, our comfort, so that we can change and do things differently. And they might be very uncomfortable. Things that we really don't want to deal with, or we'd rather escape from or ignore. And we might not be able to do that this time around. Something has to change. And so we can wake up in a bad mood, breaking free from others who are kind of bringing in this distress. And then on top of that, we have the sun square Pluto. Um, oof. Saturn kind of eliminates, restricts, or constricts. Um, it limits us from Pluto, which is power, our personal power. And so, unfortunately, these can be, boss figures, authority figures. On the outside world, this can be our presidents, and people in politics and power. Um, kind of eliminating us or restricting us or limiting us from something. So these could be bosses, managers, parents. Everybody's going to experience this differently. And so if you are the parent restricting your child from something, be mindful of how you're going about doing it, because it could cause more disruption than it is benefiting the child. Sometimes you got to let them fuck up and fall flat on their face so that they can get it. And so I think that's really hard for us because we tend to want to control and keep them out of trouble. But this transit might be suggesting let them go. Let them go ahead and do what they're going to do so that they can see, so that they can feel, so they can see that you was telling them, you was just trying to help them. Um, so we can see a lot of power struggles. This could be physical changes. Again, resistance to change. The sun's going to highlight what's going on in the world around Taurus themes, which is growth, finances, resources, values, and self-worth. Money, where we get our money from. So again, issues on our job. This could be issues with your paycheck. And having to confront people on that, which it can get very tumultuous. And I think a bigger, uh, I'm not saying don't fight it. Obviously, you want to take the necessary steps to address it, but to avoid it happening, or it being you want to get to a point in life where when finances are disrupted, you have so much that it's not, again, that you don't have to address it, but it's not going to be to the point where it has to be in a tumultuous way, right? Because 9 times out of 10, if we're acting out of um character where we have to get nasty with somebody, it's because of something that we don't control or we can't control or we don't know how to, or we're not prepared for disaster, disruption, distraction, etc. Right? And so if these are things coming up, let this be a lesson to save more money, find other avenues to make money. You don't have to be a business person to have multiple streams of income. Um, you're going to have to open your mind and expand your knowledge when it comes to money so that you can have um, backup resources in case something goes wrong. you know um so savings in different places, things of value that you can sell if you need to sell and get cash, obviously investing, um and this could also be with people. Wealth doesn't always just evolve around money, and so maybe having a side hustle or 2 or 3 jobs. And I know people like, that's not always realistic. Life doesn't really work that way, and that's completely okay. Not everybody wants to do that. Fine. I'm just giving you examples on how this can be playing out. So um, maybe having a second job or a little side hustle or a little part-time job so that you're having consistent income coming in, little things that you can do on the side to make income from trying to, again, stretch your mind, expand your mind to have those things. So again, when disruption comes up, it's not such a big issue. I mean, it's going to be a problem, but it's not as chaotic or out of control as it is when like, I need that money right now. when you're in that state of right now and you can't really get it because it's a process, that can cause you to act out of character. And so this is what this is trying to teach you is preparedness. Um, this could be again about people, the people you have, the people that surround you. Do they support you? Can you count on them when you have things going on? And um, obviously having more than one person to do that because everybody's going to be going through different things at different times. So if you call one person, they're like, hey, I really want to be there, but I got my own shit going on, blah, 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 blah. Fine. Where's the next person and the next person and the next person in case somebody's not available? Who is that person that you go to? This could even be, again, self-worth and building that up within yourself. So not being afraid to be alone if things come up and nobody happens to be available because they have their own stuff going on. Can you withstand being in a circumstance by yourself? Can you take that time without it stressing you out to the point where you feel like you need somebody? Um, so getting comfortable with being alone, you know, having enough resources. Um, resources can be multiple things. Do these friends or people in your life provide opportunities for you? Like if you needed another job, or just ideas to bounce off of on side hustles or other things that you can do for money. Who are they? Um, your resources can also be um, food. And are you good at cooking? Do you need to take some cooking classes? Um, are you on a diet? Do you need to change your eating habits? Who do you go to for that information so that you can learn it so that you can implement it in your life? Do you have people that you can barter with where you have a skill, they have a skill, and instead of exchange of cash, you exchange of skills? I mean, it could be so many different things. And it's just like anything that's coming up right now as a challenge is obviously asking you to how to avoid being in this situation again. What do you need to gather to avoid these types of situations from happening? Fixed signs don't like to change, so this is going to be really intense. Um, and it's going to be uncomfortable, confrontational. Um, this can be in tension between the desire for stability and material comfort, intense feelings to confront fears, trauma, old structures that are keeping you from growing and evolving. You might need to leave a job or an apartment where you live, get rid of a car. These are things that I view as structures. Maybe change your bank. Finding banks where you can put your money and it actually grows um, in your savings account. I mean, all these types of things, um, things can be coming up as tension that's saying, maybe it's time to look for something that's going to give growth instead of taking away from you or bringing conflict or drama in your life. This could also be changing societal norms and expectations. I can't help but keep harping on the Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Drake situation. I know people are probably like, don't nobody care, like, what's going on in my life, bitch? I mean, it could still be playing out this way in your life where you say you're having a conversation with somebody about something that's going on in the world and their views are different from yours. Now, let's be clear. It's okay for you to hang around with people who have different views from you, right? That's how we learn and you accept and let it, that's their opinion and you have your opinion. But when it becomes conflict to the point where y'all are arguing over whose view is right and it starts getting into all that, that's a problem, right? If you can't just have a conversation where you're like, nah, I think Kendrick Lamar's way better because of blah, 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 blah. And the other person's like, nah, I think J. Cole is better because of blah, 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 blah. And um, and that be that. And it's just a conversation of your facts and their facts. And it kind of goes back and forth like a healthy debate, right? That's different. That's called a conversation of two people with opposing opinions. But when it starts to get nasty to the point where y'all got name calling, nobody's listening, people are talking over you, um, you know, and it's confrontational, that is not a conversation. That is something completely different. And that's an indication that you don't really need to have that person in your life, right? Because what are they bringing to you but drama and conflict? And so it's little things like that I feel like this is what's going on with the state of hip hop right now, is that everybody wants Kendrick and J. Cole to fight so bad. And look at the villain, Drake, the person who was like, fuck everybody, goes off on everybody. He's like, I'm just gonna go all in and get all people involved. I'm gonna hit them all at once, and he's getting the accolades. Is that a healthy society where niggas is bigging up Drake, the person who is feeding into the societal norm that we know we need to change? Now, look, I get it. Everybody's going to argue it's hip hop. That's what we do. First of all, it's not hip hop, it's battle rap. When you go back to the true form of hip hop. It's not this. It's battle rap. Those are two separate things, right? And we've known in the past, like Biggie and Tupac, where these things have ended up in death, and others, over time have ended up in death due to the back and forth of these two opposing teams going at each other. And how is that healthy? Like, how is that healthy? And I think it's real funny how people are arguing this fact, like they want to keep the drama going. I feel like it's an escapist thing. I think this is Mars and Pisces to the fucking 10th power, where we're illusional and delusional because seeing other people fight allows us to not handle or take care of our own problems. And I get it. Everybody's gonna be like, well, nobody's fucking perfect. It's life. That's what we go through. Niggas is going through real shit. Blah 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 blah. People gonna change on their own timeline, and that's fine. But if you look at the astrology, you can deny it all you want. We're being asked to change, right? Something's gotta give. At some point, we're going to have to get up out the trenches, this low vibrational energy, and do things differently, address the trauma and the problems. And if you don't, and you're inflicting this, and then when shit happens, everything's always funny until it's your fucking family or the people that are closest to you that get hurt, right? And then that's when people want to be like, well, shut the fuck up. You should have made the change and encouraged Mr. J. Cole for standing up, being the righteous person, instead of tipping your hat off to Drake, who is infusing and continuing in the drama. Like, nobody wants to grow up and change. It's all like, well, that's life, that's society, that's how things have always been. Change is inevitable, right? And so I think it's fucking hilarious, to be honest with you. I doubt that this will change overnight. This is definitely going to be something that people are going to fight to continue in, because, quote unquote, that's how things have always been, which it really hasn't. But I think the more unfortunate part to that is that it's a lifestyle that has been fed to us through our opposition and the conflict and drama that it causes in our community, our mindset, and not allowing us to really heal real trauma and societal norms is a fucking problem when it's given to you from your ops. And we're sitting up here eating this shit like it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was looking at I was watching a video from Jada Kiss. Now, I don't know if it was old or if it was new. You know, you never really know when you're watching these videos. But he was in an interview talking about how, battle rap used to be food on our plate. And so a lot of these things are consumed by way of fuck that, I gotta get my paper by any means necessary. And I do think that I mentioned that in one of my other videos, and I talked about it just right here. A lot of this stuff that we're doing, like staying in a job because we're not fucking happy, is because we have bills to pay, we got mouths to feed, we need clothes on our back. How do you get up out of that? Making sure, again, you have a savings. Are you put it in your 401k? Are you growing opportunities outside of, so that you don't have to stay in a construct or a structure that is not allowing you to evolve? Right. And I feel like this is the same situation where we're not seeing that this construct, this new idea of hip hop that was sold to us from our ops, is really breaking us apart when we should be coming together as a community and coming up with solutions to solve real problems. And you know, what are you what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? People are gonna change at their own time, and that's fine. I just feel sorry for people because it's always fun until the rabbit got the gun. And just know, you stay in that energy at any given time, you're next. It's gonna be your family that niggas is targeting. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna then argue, maybe I should have? It's the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. If I would have done this, if I would have done that, my life would be so much more different. Educate yourself, challenge yourself to learn new things, do some research, start following more healthier people who are in positions that you're trying to get to make these changes and make them a part of your reality, as opposed to what's being sold to you to keep you from growing and evolving. You don't make that decision, you don't get to cry about it, right? Because Mars and Pisces is also that victim mentality, the crabs at the bottom of the barrel. These are all the people who will complain all day about the government won't let you do this and the government won't let you do that and blah, 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 blah. And let's be clear, they're right. They're not totally wrong. But what the fuck are you going to do to get out of it? Are you going to keep complaining, or are you going to start changing some things? And I think it's a big barrier of being able to step up out of that to learn, because you're going to consistently hit walls on that journey that makes you want to throw your hands up and give up and be like, fuck this, I've already done that. I've already done that. I've already done this. I've tried that. I've learned this, and nothing seems like it's still working. It's a journey. It's over time. You cannot give up. You got to build up your strength and power on this journey, like I talked about in the Scorpio video. And I use Karate Kid as an example. Get tough and strong and grounded in the changes that you're making. you know um None of these things come, I mean, whether you choose to be on the wrong side or you choose to be on the right side, they both come with challenges. And that's a part of life, right? That's not ever going to change, because those things happen to help you grow and evolve. um and to challenge you and test you how serious you are. How bad do you want this change? And I think that's hard for us to see. And it's a barrier to change and evolution, because it feels like either way, you know, I'm fucked up, but then that's a mindset thing. And how are you, you know, changing your mind about how you think about struggles and opposition and challenges, you know? Um, it becomes mind over matter, you know, and that takes time when you've been one way your whole life. Like I said, a 14-year cycle, and then tell somebody to change. That's fucking preposterous. You can't come in here and tell me this is what I got to do to change, and it's been something I've been doing all my life, and I need to change tomorrow. It's not going to happen. It's not. And so you have to learn how to be patient with yourself, trust your instincts, your intuition. And sometimes when you get to the higher level of this, when those things come up, it's also telling you you're working too damn hard. You know, it's not all bad, even though it feels bad. It's like you need to take a break, sit your ass down and get some rest, go on vacation, have some family time, take time out to do other things, explore the world, travel, sleep, eat, making sure you're nourishing yourself. These things come in all different forms and sizes. And I think when you don't learn at a young age about these things in that way of growth and evolution, and it's just like you got to do this because it fucks you up psychologically, you know. Then you'll just relate everything to I'm not good enough, or you know um you just don't have a wealth mindset. And again, when I say wealth, I'm not talking about money. Having a wealth mindset encompasses all these things, you know. It's just the knowing and the understanding of, you know, what it takes to build something. um and they come with ebbs and flows, like that's just the way it is, and nothing grows overnight. And so the other challenge here, I think, is this idea of things that you put in the oven or the microwave and it's done. That's not real either. But you know, that's sold to us that there's overnight success and overnight money that comes with success, and overnight fame and attention that comes with success. And that's not real either. You know, most of the time when you're doing that, especially from an authentic place, you got to work for that. It takes time. And it's hard for us to accept that concept when we've been taught or sold something else for so long. And so for the people who are up for the challenge, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a lot of people coming for you, and you're going to have to pick and choose your battles. These people are not worth arguing with. Let them be right, and keep it pushing and keep it moving, because you know you're working towards something better. For others, they're gonna snip and snipe at each other because that's all they've ever known, and they might really not know how to change, even though they know they need to change. But the how starts to get real foggy with Mars and Pisces, and it's illusion, it's delusion. You know, it's an escape from them having to deal with the real problem. And that's just what they're going to keep on doing. That's their choice, you know. Um, and so um, a lot of these structures are going to have to fall to force a new way of doing things. So more destruction with these themes can show up, unfortunately. And then Tuesday, the moon moves into Scorpio, which is the Scorpio full moon. Again, I did do my video on that. If you want to see the full video, please be sure to go back and check that out. But Scorpio is our shadow work, everything that I was just talking about: fears, jealousy, envy, intense power struggles, letting go, emotional outbursts, dysfunction, toxicity. Pluto is definitely bringing the heat. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to come look at this shit. Why was I just here? Look at this. Look at this. Somebody come in. Pluto is being a complete fucking troublemaker, stirring up all kinds of shit. The shit literally that you detox, when you get your colon cleanse, that stuff that just don't come out without you going up in there and clearing it out. Yeah, that's what Scorpio's in there doing right now. You're like, look at your ass. All that shit you got piled up in there. Take it out. Um, and what's going down in your gut and your deepest, darkest desires, the things that are kind of taboo and again, very uncomfortable that we're really not allowed to talk about because it's weird, it's awkward. It's not like every day. And, the esoteric, that's when we get into the esoteric meaning of things, is that they're really not. It's just society knows that those things are more powerful. And so they'll try to keep you from that by putting in all these, laws, rules, and regulations around these things. Like you can't be naked, you can't go out and frolic and shit like that, or whatever weird taboo things come up with Pluto. I'm just giving you an example. It could be anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be about being naked. Watching your mouth. You can't say what you want to say, or you have to change how you say shit. Like I was watching another clip from this investor dude, I think it's Honey Drip is the name of his page. Don't quote me on that. But he had oh my God, what's that guy's name? Black dude. Ah, whatever. He's pretty well known. The dude that was trying to open up the school that everybody was like talking about, he was stealing the money, blah blah blah. What is his name? I know y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I can't remember his name right now, but he was on there and he said something that was so profound about, mostly he was talking about Black men, but I think this is a generalization now, where a lot of women are in, masculine positions, quote unquote. And he said, you can't go to work as a man and show your masculinity without people taking it a certain kind of way. It's like, oh, well, you have to learn how to speak softer and be more respectful. Not to say that, it's okay to go around, being rude and disruptive, but as a masculine energy, it is about protecting and speaking up for yourself and standing on business, like just period. And so there's a level of that needs to be addressed in that way. You have to instill fear in certain people as a boundary to put up, like you can only go but so far. And so like a sternness, I guess, is a better way to say that. Like you say what you say and mean what you say type of energy. And I felt that, right? You can't go to work and just be like, say whatever it is you want to say. You have to stop and think and be like, let me say this way because this bitch might take this way, and that's going to cause some conflict, some problems, and I ain't even trying. That's not what it is, and in that way, masculine energy as a whole is disrupted by that ideology, that law, that expectation from the outside world, right? And so a man can't really be a man when he's constantly being kind of cast out for who he really is. And so we have this highly feminized world where being compassionate and empathetic, I'm not saying it's not necessary, because obviously that's not true, but it's a complete imbalance, right? And I think this is happening a lot in a lot of these structures. And it's also a creative killer. It kills your desire for creativity and what you build, and your desire and passion to build those things. And that's a fucking problem, as a whole, you know. And I think this can be something that's coming up in some way, shape, or form. And so, ooh, if y'all got any problems at work, please, 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 please rethink how you address it, because they're not worth it. Especially if you're somebody who already has a plan and you only need to be at this job for like 3, 4, 5 years, whatever your timeline is, because you're building up wealth. so that you can be more free and independent, so that you don't have to be under this construct or structure. They're not worth it. If you already have a plan, if you don't, you're probably going to be a little bit more distressed. You might not be able to avoid cursing a motherfucker out. Know that that's going to be the end of your job. You're probably going to get fired. And even in that, still, it's saying whether you're somebody who's going to invest in yourself and learn how to grow your money and do that bid, or you just need a new job, right? It's time to get out of that environment because clearly something is not going well, that there needs to be a change, a shift. Either way it happens, for whatever reason it's happening because the universe is trying to show you what's keeping you confined from growing and evolving, meaning you either got to get up and get out, or you need to have a more strategic plan that allows you to minimize the drama, look at the drama differently, if that makes sense. It's not going to be pretty. um but it's all for a good purpose. So we can see things for what they are, let it go, change and shift and grow. Now, Wednesday, there are no aspects. Thursday, the moon will oppose Jupiter and Uranus, and we just had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction yesterday. And so this is definitely, obviously, going to reactivate that. But with Scorpio, I think it's more like deep introspection, kind of like, again, more internal, like the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So if something's coming up for you, you're gonna be looking back at that shit like, damn, if I would have invested in that money, motherfucker, 2011, bitch, I'd be up out of this shit. If I would have da 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 da, if I would have blah 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 blah, you know, and it's a good thing though, because that's building up your passion and desire for something to change. So take it further. Deep Scorpio wants you to go deeper. Research that. Are there other opportunities for that? Does that necessarily mean you can't grow? Will it be different? Is it still frustrating? Absolutely. That's just a part of life, right? Um, do your research, get some knowledge. Again, find other people who are in the places and spaces where you are trying to get to. Follow them, heed what they say. I do about 3 or 4 different people until you find your person who's like, you know what, I trust this person, regardless whether things work out or not, because let's just be real, people, we're human at the end of the day, and things can get said that might not lead you to, but does that really mean, going back to being able to have different views of something, um it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to leave, or we can't trust them anymore. These might be indications of things that are a little bit deeper. If you feel that way about somebody who gives you information and things don't fall through, um like you got trust issues, and um you have to work on that, right? Because you're going to have to learn from somebody. Now you can do your own learning, you can learn from yourself, that's okay too. But I'm saying not everybody's has that ability. And so however this is playing out for you is more so about knowing what that is for you. I'm making sure you have 3 or 4 different people that you can equate that information that you're trying to figure out for yourself, let it play out in your life so that you can feel what that experience feels like and be like, you know what? I know Mr. So and so said this, but I don't really like the way that makes me feel. And you don't have to agree with everything that one person says. Like, I remember when I had my old page, and you guys who have been following me for a while know I love Dr. Boyce Watkins. I think that he is fucking hilarious. He's my inner spirit. I don't care. He says all the things that I don't normally like to say out loud. And I just appreciate that. Have I learned a lot from him? Absolutely. Are there some things that he say that I'd be like, oh, okay, went off the deep end with that one, Doc. I don't know if I'm really there with that, but I'm not gonna just like not take his advice anymore completely, you know what I mean? Because we have different viewpoints on some things. That's again, there's that can be kind of an indication of something deeper going on. And I remember everybody's like, I don't like, it wasn't even like that they didn't like him specifically, but it was because he was a man giving out advice. Like, I don't trust men who, and these were all women who were in relationships at that time, that I was blown the fuck away about that. And so yeah, that was very interesting to me. And again, it's not about good or bad, right or wrong, or talking shit. It's an observation of, differences of opinions and why people dislike or like things, right? And I was just like, wow, you know, I couldn't imagine living my life like that. And don't get me wrong, because relational wise, I wouldn't date anybody who would argue with me about something that I'm passionate about. And I said arguing, not disagreeing or having a different viewpoint. There is a difference, right? And so, again, this is not about judgment, it's an observation. Knowing what works for you and what doesn't work for you are the most important things about these things that are going to be coming up for you at this time. If it works for you, and you have other people around you who are consistently bashing you for what you believe in, and I do mean bashing you, I'm not talking about a regular conversation, a healthy debate. I mean people who are literally beating you up as if you stole something for them verbally because you have a certain kind of belief. Those motherfuckers need to go, because I can assure you they are diminishing, limiting your growth, your ability to do more. Those people are not going to help you on your journey. You need help, right? This goes back to the social media stuff, the way they got that shit, that you got to like, share, and subscribe. That's why I hate saying that message out loud, because I know a lot of people don't care about doing that. Does that mean that they don't support you? In some senses, yes, that's exactly what it means. Because in order for me to grow, I have to get likes and shares and subscribe and subscriptions, right? Per this societal norm. The more views I get, the more likes I get, the more the algorithm shows up in some kind of way that allows more people to see me. And when you know that and you understand that that's two people on the same page, that those people are going to support you. You'll see that support from those people, regardless of what the meaning is behind it. It's like, this message needs to get out. This person's sharing information that other people need to see, you know, whatever. But then it's also a social construct where it's like, you shouldn't have to like, share, and fucking subscribe to something just for other people to see it. And it does suck. I remember my teacher, my astrology teacher, the one who I learned astrology from, would talk about this shit all the time. She was like a double Sagittarius. I think her moon and rising was a Sag, or moon and sun was a Sag. I think she was a Capricorn rising, but don't quote me on that. But I know she had a lot of Sagittarius in her thing, and she remembered talking about that, because a lot of Sagittarius can be about these things, as it's connected to the opposite of Gemini, Mercury, right? And she was embarrassed about it. She was like, I hate asking for people to like and share and subscribe my videos, because I don't. When I watch other videos, she's like, it's just something that it's like, it goes completely out of my mind. She's like, I'm not trying to do it to be funny or ignorant or blah 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 blah. She's like, but I know that people need those certain things to get an algorithm. And she was like, so whether you do it or you don't, um, you know, that's great. Obviously, I'm super appreciative of it, but know that you don't have to, because she's a Sag, so optimism runs in through her veins. And she's like, I have the hope and believe that there are multiple ways of marketing, even though I had to work really, really hard for them, that I'm gonna find the people who are meant to find me. And that kind of resonated with me. I was like, I felt that, because you really shouldn't have to ask anybody to do anything. If they like it, they're going to like it. And you have to trust that. If they don't like it, they're not going to like it. And you have to accept that. It's just that fucking simple, right? But if you're somebody who's super unconscious, you're not aware of those types of things, you'd be surprised how many wars I see when I watch tarot, and not a lot of other astrologers. Some um mainstream astrologers will fight about that stuff and then take it personal when people don't. And again, this isn't me talking shit. I'm making an observation of how these kind of social societal constructs kind of have us head to head with each other when it doesn't really have to be that difficult. You know, it's fucking annoying. All right. That's all I'm trying to say. And I think in all different kinds of ways, these battles are going on back and forth, whether it's between ourselves and it's an internal battle, and or with families, siblings, co-workers, bosses, however this is coming up, children, this kind of back and forth is bringing up, how do we get more solid in these challenges that are coming up, so that we look at them from a different way, so that we can evolve no matter what the destruction, chaos, or challenges are that are going on around us. And so, very interesting. I think it's going to be quite tumultuous. Just saying. Um, the moon will trine Mars and Neptune. It's super emotional. Mercury goes direct. Thank fucking God. Okay. And then immediately it will conjunct the North Node, which can be information coming in that we don't know about, because the North Node is literally the new journey that we're being set on. And so this can be profound insights, downloads, knowledge, a clearer direction. On the unfortunate side, this can be mental health, mental breakdown, miscommunication, frustration, explaining ourselves to others, or feeling overwhelmed for having to explain ourselves to others. And so again, it just might be kind of best to reflect on what's been going on over the last month or so, what's been going wrong over the last month or so, and how to fix it. And then the moon moves into Sagittarius, which is obviously a lot more upbeat and optimistic, which brings us into Friday. Moon in Sag is culture, long distance travel, things going on in other countries, beliefs, morals, ethics, spirituality, religion, any kind of legal things, but higher legal things. So state of the union, federal law, legislation, stuff like that. We can be getting messages and things coming out around that. And then it's also higher education, like universities, colleges, speaking, public speaking, announcements, broadcasting, radio, blogging, YouTubing, and marketing, websites, publishing a book. And then the moon will square Saturn. So this could be delays around all these things, or they're still kind of hidden or going on behind the scenes, or there's some kind of limitation, or the message is about some kind of limitation. You can't go here anymore. You can't do this anymore. Nobody's allowed in college anymore. We're going to do everything from online. I don't know. I'm just making it up. It could be anything around a limitation around Sagittarius themes. mentally you can feel limited, or there could be some idealism around Sagittarius themes. And Saturn's like, be realistic. Sagittarius can be our long-term goals. And so making sure that you're not kind of being consumed by the Pisces energy. On the upswing to that, this can very much be about the building blocks to our dreams, um, as we get clarity and feel more optimistic about it. Um, and structure, Saturn wants structure around your dreams. And so, again, sitting down and list, Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius. And so, this can be about lists, planning, dream boards, goal boards, writing some kind of notes out, planning for marketing, saving for marketing, having a marketing plan, changes to your website, updating your website, changes to your YouTube, updating your YouTube, structure. Saturn wants you to put things in place so that it's a smooth running operation, right? And that will probably be your best bet. Depending on what house this is in for you, those things could look very different. And so you got to know where that stuff is happening for you. The moon, which is in so your Sagittarius house and your Pisces house. That's a square. What's coming up for you in those two houses? You need to get more structured. Let that be the goal, is to get structured, organized, and a better daily routine or system around dealing with those things. Or becoming more mature, and realistic, looking at things realistically, which is, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, is expect delays. Delays can mean it's time to travel. It's not time to work. Even though Mercury is direct, you still got a 2 week shadow phase. So plan the vacation. Don't actually go on the vacation. Dream about your long-term future. Don't actually start working on it. Write it out. Plan it out. Dream board, goal board, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I feel like I'm getting repetitive. So Saturday, the moon will trine Chiron. And I like this moon and Sag trine Chiron and Aries, because it's like taking action with an optimistic mindset towards your healing, and the things that you know you need to change, and perhaps even learning and seeing how you can turn that into some kind of business. And I know everything's not about business. Not everybody's going to be into that type of stuff, but more so, even if it's not a business, like how you become a leader in the process of healing through people watching you heal, you inadvertently allow others to do the same type of energy. And there's passion and desire, compassion, and leadership, and in that kind of way. And so that could be really dope, I think. Um, and then the moon will square Neptune and Mars. This could be weather issues, issues with planes, intense debates with around culture and religion, even spirituality, flooding, illness, boat accidents, issues with water. This crazy call. I don't know if it was real. I kind of wish I didn't hang up on them, but just to see what it was, because you have to be careful when you got Pisces, Neptune energy going on, because they could be scammers trying to get your personal information so they can dupe you for your money. But it was just interesting that the call was around something with water. So I don't know. I should probably go do some research, and I'm just curious at this point to see, has there been any complaints that have been going out about some kind of water issue that I'm completely disconnected from, because I really give zero fucks about what's going on in the world. Which could be a good or a bad thing, but it was something like a lawsuit around if you've got any health issues around water. I don't know why it made me think of the Flint, Michigan shit. I wonder how that's all going and if that's been resolved. I know it was a while ago, but it just made me think of that. And even the boat crashing into the bridge, like, and how much that's going to change how they move and operate. And so things around water can be coming up again as ways to challenge how we're doing something, or to stop doing something. Um, this could be drowning, mold, uh, prisons, right? Mars, yeah, Neptune, prisons, military stuff. Inaction, because Mars is still in Pisces. And so are you meditating, doing yoga, healing, Reiki? But I know they got some weird, like crazy water, um, like challenges. Are they called water? I mean, I think they have water healing stuff. This could also be like water challenges, crazy what like that ice water stuff that I'd be seeing on the sports team. I don't know what that's all about, but that strikes me as something that's a Mars, Neptune type of thing. And somebody actually really fucking freezing, or it kind of brings up some health issue or something. I don't know. I'm reaching now, but the Sunday, the moon moves into Capricorn. You might be motivated to get things done. And then the moon will trine the sun, which helps us get things done. And then the moon will square the nodes, and Mars will conjunct Neptune more. Um, yeah, so that's home security, locks, homeland security things. Again, waters, pools, hometown, public, women, mother, children, family, illusion, escapism, missing things, misplacing things, forgetting things, things going on behind the scenes. Again, prisons, hospitals, and the sea, violent storms, military action, things that are unreal, manipulation of the news, not getting lots in the illusion and fantasy that they are definitely selling right now, which I think is freaking hilarious. Watching the news is a good, it's comical. It's like, and then I have to listen to I always feel so bad laughing about some of the shit they be saying on the news. Like there's a fucking there was a Mercury and retrograde commercial. I was like, oh, now they want to talk about astrology. Isn't that interesting? They sure know how to capitalize on shit. And then there's like this tarot movie coming out. I don't remember when it comes out. I should go look that up. I know I've seen it though. I kind of scrolled past it on my YouTube thingy. I don't even think I watched it yet, but I will be watching that movie. Naturally, right? I'm into that kind of stuff. And I always find it extremely funny the way they villainize spirituality. And so you just remember Mars and Pisces in general is propaganda, um, manipulation, and it's really the manipulation behind what keeps everything together. That paradigm of us having that connection to the other side. They'll villainize anything that has to do with fifth dimensional things. In history, and they'll use Hollywood media to kind of distort how you believe those things. And so you really got to be careful about watching too much news. um just be mindful, folks. Don't let these people get in your head. um This could also be sick, feeling tired, lazy, intuition on fleek, empath. You can like your spidey senses could be on fleek. Spiritual practices and beliefs is a great thing to uh, be in doing at this time, as opposed to falling into all this other stuff: dance, music, spas, meditation, swimming, yoga. You might be inspired by something or gain some kind of compassion for doing service for others, crying, overthinking, projecting. It's a great time to do some baths and soaps, acupuncture, reflexology, pedicures, manicures, massages. Dreams could be on fleek, signs, symbols, and synchronicities coming out the fucking wazoo. So pay attention, stay grounded. You know, it's not all bad. I think the beginning of the week is gonna be fucking bonkers, but necessary. And then things kind of like slow down and become more internal throughout the rest of the week. Be careful as we move more into this Aries stellium of planets, because I think it's going to get a lot harder to fight the fact of the inaction. Like Mars wants to go, and Pisces is like, no, bitch. So that can get a little frustrating. So making sure you're aware of that, and not like taking shit out on other people because you can't really move the way you want to. Um, take just rest, take the time to do the internal work, deal with the actual issues at hand, and you will be blessed for that. And yeah, not too bad, right? We can handle this, right, guys? Yeah. As usual, family, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.